Rhodesia cabinet files were records that were generated during the administration of the Smith government in the 1970s, late 60s and 70s, up to independence, up to around 1979, just before independence. So these were records that were taken out of the country just before independence. And Smith, who was then the Prime Minister, donated them to Rhodes University in South Africa, where he was an alumni member. He was a student of Rhodes University, so he decided to take them to South Africa. So basically, these are records that were kept at Rhodes University from 1979 up to 2011, 13, thereabout, when we started having, as a country, efforts to bring them back to the country. The records were kept out of the country for so long because it was also because of the sensitive nature of their collection. Remember, issues around human rights, issues around the war, the second Chimurenga, which started around about 1966, up until independence. And there were a lot of sensitive collections within these materials, but not just because of the nature of their collection. It justifies why they took so long, but it was also the Smith factor itself, because Smith was still alive and he was in charge of the collection. And initially, before the term cabinet files is a later description to this, to move away, but initially they were called Smith papers. Rhodes University received them as Smith papers. So when they were deposited at Rhodes University, they were treated as personal collections from the Smith family. So the way they were treated, it was only after a commission of inquiry was done into that, more like private commission of inquiry, to see, are these really private collections or they are government, collections, which then deemed them, saying, no, these were really cabinet, business papers. And we moved from the term Smith papers to cabinet files, just as a justification to say it's really government business, as opposed to Smith as an individual or his private, life. So they took quite long, because initially they were being treated as personal, and definitely it's about what individuals think and decide. But up to a point when in 2007 Smith passed on, and then things changed, because now that Smith factor was no longer a challenge to the process of government-to-government negotiations. So it had to take time up until the passing on of Ian Smith, and then the process became diplomatic. Now South Africa is independent, Zimbabwe is independent, and the two governments can collaborate and can exchange notes as to how best they could bring these papers back.